Hello and welcome to the Will It Send Me to Hell podcast, the only Catholic podcast that will ever do an episode about Christian. My name is Dalton. Joining me here today, as always, is
Michael. I'm agreeing that is probably 100% true. I cannot imagine like Pints with Aquinas sitting down and like, today we're going to discuss Christian,
and what we might learn from the book of Matthew. It's I don't know. Who knows who Christian is? Shit posters know who Christian is.
You have to be young enough, I think, to know who Christian is. Young enough or like internet savvy enough. I mean, obviously he's gained some notoriety recently. I don't know, but
my dad now knows who Christian is, which
yeah.
is very funny.
Because you told him, or because of his arrest?
Because of my dad's arrest?
No, the Christian.
Oh.
Sorry, I should have said her arrest.
Yes. My good. There's so much.
Yeah, I don't even know where to start.
No, because I told him the next thing is Christian, so he looked up Christian, and he kind of started from the beginning. So I had the pleasure.
Nice.
I had the pleasure of telling him like an hour ago what happened to Christian recently.
Nice.
He had no idea. My dad actually, when I told him the Christian thing, like the next day, he sent me an email. I don't know if it was confidential, Dad. I don't think it is. But he said, like, please do not do something on Christian. It seems wrong to make fun of him. Like he said, this is more. He gave me Bible quotes too, which is interesting if you know him. But correct. I think we can both start out by saying that trolling Christian is wrong.
I think this is one of the reasons, so I want to, again, I don't even know where to start, but I guess we'll start here. We had mentioned before that we might send him a letter.
I didn't.
I did not.
I chose not to.
I also chose not to because I feel like when you're talking about Christian, if you're in any way documenting Christian, because of the controversy and the ambiguity of like how moral any action at all towards him is, I feel like it's just best to keep the prime directive, right? Like, just do not interfere with Christian's life.
Yeah, I don't... Yeah.
Now, someone is trying to send him letters to convert him to Islam currently. Now, that made me think maybe I should send him a counterbalance letter, but alas.
I didn't know they were doing that.
Yes, it's called Project Islam.
So, if you don't know who Christian is, and you're listening to this podcast, skip it.
We can't
I'm going to turn the mic down just a tad.
Sure.
We're peeking all over the place.
I don't know if we can give a small overview, but I think we're going into this assuming that you know who Christian is, and you have at least a basic idea. And so we might throw out some facts that like, oh, I didn't know that about Christian, but like hopefully you know who Christian is.
Christian is the most documented human of all time.
That is probably true.
So and he's been documented since 2007. So, well, actually, no, before then.
But he's been documented since then, but we know about things about him that go back further.
So to give you any kind of synopsis is negligible.
I mean,
we can't give you any. You either know Christian or you don't. Watch an hour-long little documentary about him. It's very good. But that documentary was made in like 2017. We have 5 more years of
that's
things
the thing.
that's happened to him.
I was going to say 2 things. One is that like it is a person's life we are talking about. So that's the very first thing I need to... Because like people are going to be wondering, even if they know who Christian is, they're going to be saying like, isn't that a real human being? How are you How are you having a discussion about will this human being send you to hell? And so I guess to be clear, what we're talking about is Cristory, which is what people in the Christian field call the history of Christian, the study of Christian. Will that send you to hell? Will his life as a story send you to hell? Will his study of him send you to hell? Like broad, that kind of thing.
Getting into Christian.
Yeah. And if you don't know who Christian is and you want to know more, I'd say the best way is it's really long, but the best way is the Geno Samuel Comprehensive History. It's really quite good. It only goes so far as 2017. It's not up to date, but if you watch all of that, either you're going to be like, I want to know nothing more about Christian ever, or you're like, I guess I'll read the quickie and like find out what he's done the last 4 years. Which the quickie, by the way, if we reference it again later, is the CWC Wikipedia. CWC stands for Christian Weston Chandler, which is Christian.
Yeah.
Or Christine Weston Chandler.
Or Christopher Weston Chandler.
Technically, originally, Christopher Weston Chandler. Yes.
Yeah, it's his full name is what it's...
Christopher Christine Pablo?
No,
Ricardo Weston Chandler.
Yes.
Sonichu. I forgot Sonichu. He does include Sonichu. There was about a year where he believed that he was possessed by Sonichu and only referred to himself as Sonichu. Among other people that he claimed to be possessed by at different times.
All right. That's a lot.
Yes.
Who Christian is.
Mm-hmm.
He's this guy. He's this high-functionally autistic guy from Virginia, from Ruckersville, Virginia. Who is
near Charlottesville.
Thank you. Just be specific. Who's the creator of Sonichu. Creator of a combination of Sonic and Pikachu.
Which came about, he was doing a school project in high school. They couldn't use copyright materials, so he's like, well, what if I just combine two copyright materials? And then apparently that was okay, so that's, you know.
The teacher said, fucking...
Whatever. You're autistic. I don't care enough.
And then he made comics, and people found them, and he has many antics online that are insane.
Mm-hmm.
Insane. Since 2007... people have been brutally trolling this man.
Well, it's run the gamut.
And then sometimes not as brutal, sometimes helpful. Sometimes he'll do something and the trolls will say like, yeah, we're going to call police and get a wellness check over on his house. So even, it's so complicated because even the trolling is complicated.
Yes. So, like some of it is so bad you can't believe someone would do it. And then other parts are like, this is hilarious. Like,
it's hilarious, or sometimes the troll is saying like Casey, who's a borderline troll, kind of boring troll.
Yeah, a little.
Was telling him, hey, you should probably clean up your room, or hey, get a job. Don't wear your Sonichu medallion that you made.
Right.
Put on a nice shirt and go apply to Target. Is that even trolling?
Right. Well, but then she's still pretending to be like a woman who's interested in her.
Exactly. It's so
and also
bizarre.
Pretending to be dating Liquid Chris, his like an antithesis.
And now he is in jail for raping his mother.
Yes.
Allegedly.
Well, no, actually, he's in jail for incest, I believe. Because it has not been in any way confirmed whether or not there are rumors that his mom may have had like dementia or something, and so it would have been molestation because she wouldn't have been able to consent. But that is not what the charges are, as far as I understand it. The charges are incest, which is illegal under Virginia law.
I'm glad that's
good. That'd be good.
I always thought Virginia was for lovers, but apparently.
Virginia's for virgins, as Chris Chan has said himself.
He's and he's awaiting trial in July. So
but it's been delayed a few times now.
We'll see what happens to Chris. So that's who he is.
Yeah, and like I guess a couple other things worth mentioning. Yeah, like basically he's autistic. His comics are bad.
They're atrocious.
He is a funny person. Not purposefully, but like he's just very autistic and kind of cringy and like easy to make fun of. So that's why people started making fun of him. And he feeds it always.
Constantly.
And that is why this has progressed the way it has. And just a couple things to know because it's already come up. One is that he started calling himself a woman a few years ago. That's important. And he's also lost his fucking mind at this point, and he thinks he's Jesus Christ. Just those are important details, I think, to establish where we're at.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
there's no amount of explanation we can do that will cover everything there is about Chris Chan.
Yeah, this is not the comprehensive history of Chris Chan. I've noticed in the Chris Chan discussions that I've seen, or like on the Chris Chan Reddit, or on, well, I mean, it would really do on the wiki, but
Kiwi Farms would probably be.
Kiwi Farms maybe, but I haven't seen any like, hey, what's the right and wrong of all this? It's all about documenting, or hey, I have an interesting theory about what might have happened to Chris Chan, or hey, what do you think Bob did this? You know, his dad did this. But there's no moral discussion of an insanely interesting moral quandary that is Christian. No one's talking about that. That's what this is.
I would say the exception is people do occasionally talk about like, hey, Blue Spike was the worst ever, and maybe idea guys are right there. Blue Spike was the one who pretended to be Julie, who made him cut up the medallion and stick it up his ass.
The day of this recording marks 13 years since that video leaked, by the way.
Interesting.
The famous Julie.
And also, we're like right around his 40th birthday.
That's true. I should say, we're making this as a happy birthday.
A happy birthday to Chris.
Big 4-0, buddy.
It's kind of wild. All right, where do you want to go from here? It's kind of really strange. It feels like we have not prefaced it enough, but there's no way to preface it.
There's no way to preface it enough.
This is analytical. This is not a summary. So, what do you have to say about Chris Chan?
Well, so I don't think, like we said, one man can't send you to hell. So it's a great title, Will Chris Chan Send You to Hell? But it doesn't make sense. No.
Well,
okay, maybe you have some other theory, but I would say no. That doesn't make any sense.
Scandal is all I was going to say.
Yeah, scandal, I guess, but scandal only leads you to hell if you buy into this scandal. It's a whole thing.
Sure.
And then, so we're talking about Cristory. Will Cristory send you to hell? That doesn't make sense either, because these are real life events. That doesn't make. I don't know. I don't really know how to even talk about will that send you to hell.
Do you mind if I make a comparison?
I do, actually.
Okay, keep going.
You keep interrupting me,
man.
Sorry. So what I'm gonna think of is, what can we learn from Cristory that will make us better Christians, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because there's so much to there's so much to learn.
There really is.
From Chris Chan's mistakes. I think just at the most basic level, when I first heard about Chris Chan in high school, my first thought was, this is a great what not to do on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to kind of take big capital M morals out of it, you look at Chris Chan, just everything that he's done, don't do.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Don't put your driver's license up on the internet for people to see.
This is hilarious.
Don't release your phone number.
He did that to prove that he was the real Chris Chan. He's like, look, this is my driver's license. Do you have a driver's license that looks like this? No. Then you can't be the real Chris. It's like, you're insane.
Doesn't make any sense. Don't try and start relationships with anonymous people online who won't show you their face. Don't give people tours of your house online. Just like, what are you thinking? Don't do that. And then you look further on, and then you're going to see the trolls, and you're going to say, well, these trolls. Funny. I'll give them that. You can't say they're not funny.
Some of them aren't funny.
Some of them are not
funny.
Some
of them are not. Blue Spike is not funny.
Yeah. Some of them you can go, okay, that's pretty funny.
Liquid Chris is hilarious.
But they're still lying to him. They're still making fun of this guy with a mental problem, really, is what it is. And you say, well, that's not good. But then you keep going deeper. And then you see that Chris Chan deserves every single bit of it.
I know. That's the craziest part.
You see how awful and depraved he is, and he always, without exception, chooses the wrong thing to do that anyone could have told you, like, that is the lowest road you could have chosen, Chris Chan. And then you keep going deeper.
Yes.
And you say, he's a product of the internet and pornography and of the time. This is so bad. And then you go deeper and you say, no, it's his parents.
Yes, in fact, exactly.
Because everyone is exposed to that. And not everyone's like Chris Chan. Mm-hmm. And deeper. And then you see Barbara, past marriages. You see Bob talk about shit, and you go, wow, he's so egotistical too. And then you keep going deeper. And then you realize we're all Chris Chan. So Geno Samuel, in his document, which is very good,
very good,
very neutral, too.
For sure.
But he starts his episodes with the question, what keeps us fascinated? Mm-hmm. Every time that I listen to that, I listen to it in audio, and then I watch about half of it on YouTube.
Me too.
I'm inundated with Chris Chan now. And every time I would hear that in the podcast, I would just pause and I have to think, like, why? This is so horrible. Why? Why is it the best thing that I'm listening to right now? My first thought, which I think is still true, is that Chris Chan represents the 7 deadly sins. Mm-hmm. He's all of them. Mm-hmm. Let's go through them real quick. We have lust is obvious.
Lust, I have the same things written down, so I do have things to say about this.
Okay.
Lust, he is constantly obsessed with sex. From the very beginning, that is one of his most obvious traits. He is a virgin who wants seemingly nothing more in his life than to have sex. And that doesn't change when he hires a prostitute and has sex. That seemingly doesn't change at all. And of course, most recently, he was arrested for having sex with his mother. So lust, lust is obvious.
Easy peasy.
Easy, yes.
What's another one? Pride. He is the most fucking prideful person of all time.
I want to come back to pride. I think that's a good one to end with.
Well, okay, we'll end with pride.
Okay.
What's another one? Give me another one.
Sloth.
So lazy.
He has not worked a job since he was like 22 or something.
Yeah.
And it was at Wendy's. He worked there like a few months and then got fired. And like he has like a CAD degree or something, but he just refuses to work. Instead, he like begs for money online, like us. But donate to our Patreon.
We'll get to that later.
But like he doesn't work ever. So sloth is obvious.
He even makes this comic, and he fucking never makes.
He won't put out the comic even because he's got to wait for inspiration.
He's got to play Little Big Planet for 3 years.
Yeah, exactly.
What else?
Wrath.
Oh, gee,
he gets so pissed about everything.
Everything, so pissed.
And like vitriolic. Yes. He's cursing people, and he thinks they're real. He thinks he's really doing like voodoo doctor curses on people. Mm-hmm. He's telling them, come to my house. Here's my address so I can beat you up. Let me flex in front of the camera and roar and show you how cool I am. And also, I'm going to draw you in a comic being killed.
That's true. That's fucked up.
Like, he hates these people.
What else?
And he does make death threats, too. Like, direct death threats.
What else?
Envy. Liquid Chris.
Liquid. That's interesting. There's a couple ways you could take envy.
Yeah.
Yes, Liquid, the person, of course, we talk about. You're a fan of Metal Gear Solid. You listen to this, you know, the Liquid Chris, Solid Chris.
There's some things to say about Liquid Chris, really quick.
Okay.
Basically, so Liquid Chris, first of all, he was just making videos online for his friends where he acted like Chris Chan. And then, seriously.
Let me tell you, there's literally nothing wrong with that.
No, none at all.
That is just having fun.
And then someone found it and sent it to Chris, and Chris thought it was a real person trying to, steal his identity. And then he just played along. Like, Liquid Chris just played along. It's like, this is hilarious, right? Yeah. I think Liquid Chris is one of the best trolls that has ever happened in the entire series of Chris Chan because, like, his entire life. I said it like it was a show. But, like, because he's just having fun. And he's not doing anything too bad. But anyway, yeah. Chris is obviously very envious of him because, like, he's, like, actually talented. And he has a girlfriend who Chris tries to steal multiple times by, like, Chris pretends to be Liquid Chris to steal Liquid Chris's girlfriend and then says, yeah, like, just come to my house. And she's like, when she finds out, she's like, what were we going to do? You think I was just not going to notice it wasn't him and just have sex? That's
an example of Chris always choosing the lowest, wrongest thing to do.
See, that's the thing is, like, it's not just, it's like he is stupid. And, like, because it's so stupid to think that would work. But it's also evil to want to do that, right? Like, it's both.
Right, so I want to
say about Liquid Chris, though. You know what he's doing today?
What? Oh, no, I have no idea.
He married Casey, and he's a doctor.
Oh, cool.
Like, for real. Like, that's
really funny.
Also, Liquid Chris in the videos was 2 people. It was him and his twin brother.
Oh, I didn't know.
The guy who plays guitar really well, that's his twin brother.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. That's a fun little...
People don't know that.
I didn't know that.
Okay.
Envy. So that's interesting you took it down that road. I'm saying envy is him changing genders. I would
the opposite of penis envy. What do you call that?
Vagina envy.
I guess so. Boob envy, I think, actually, more so, maybe.
Yeah.
Autogynephilia.
This guy was so envious of women who he's got big time women are wonderful syndrome.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. That pussy is on a pedestal.
That would be envy, I think. But you're right. There's one too. What else? Greed.
Greed
Greed is interesting because he's so fucking poor. But every time he gets money, he spends it on himself.
Legos.
Plus hoarder.
But I would also say people were he was using his mom to garner sympathy online because his mom looks like just an old wreck, you know?
Yeah.
And so he was like filming her and saying like, and getting her to say like, we're poor, we need money, please give us money. And then when he would get money, he would spend like a small token amount helping his mom and spend the rest on literally buying Legos and video games.
Yeah.
I think that falls into greed. Like you're taking money that's supposed to be going towards your family.
Is it all of them? What's pride? Pride is the last one?
Oh yeah, so gluttony.
Oh, he's fat.
He's fat. he's fat. Like go no further.
Yeah.
He's fat. And then pride, I think this is he is always sure of himself. He is never like he gets what was it like Vanessa Hudgens? Someone pretends to be Vanessa Hudgens and says like has phone sex with him or like chat sex with him. And he never says like I'm Christian. Vanessa Hudgens is not interested in me. He's like, no, of course she is.
Yeah.
And like of course my comic's amazing. All these trolls he refers to as fans half the time because he thinks he actually has fans, which at this point he kind of does. But like early on he doesn't. And another thing that shows his pride in a very weird way, and I think people don't think about this, but there's one thing missing from the story of Christian that I feel like anyone else in his situation, this would be there. And that's a suicide attempt.
I think that's probably what's going to end up happening to him.
Maybe.
Long term, I don't know when. I think that's what he's. I don't think it's going to be like. I don't think it's going to be like a cool or a sad thing. I think it's going to be a confused thing.
Probably. But I just think he has made it this long, like almost 20 years of being documented and harassed and stuff like this, and like he's ruined himself in so many ways with like the transgender stuff and like all his family is like mostly dead now. He's molested his mom. I guess I'm not going for the not saying like thing.
Oh, you said it like
a million
30 seconds into the show.
Yeah. I gotta practice on his stream. But it is amazing he has not killed himself. And unfortunately, I think that is because of his pride, not because of any sort of like real hope or morality or anything like that. The only sin he has not committed is despair. And I think that's only because he is busy committing the sin of pride.
Yeah, you're probably right. But I don't think that's why we're all fascinated with him.
No, I think it's very interesting to see that he is all the 7 deadly sins, but...
That was my thought. He's the 7 deadly sins, but... lots of 7 deadly sin stuff out there. You know what I mean? Why Christian? Why Christian?
Well, he's real.
He's a lot. Come on, lots of people will represent a lot. So I was thinking, why is he so interesting? Why is my dad now watching Christians? It's everybody. Pretty much everyone has some sort of interest in it. And I think that's because I said it earlier. We're all Christian. Mm-hmm. There's an element of Christian in every single one of us, and that's why you know what he's going to do next, and why you hope he doesn't do it, because every depraved, low thought that that he has, you've thought of at some point in your life. You thought, why don't I just do that?
I just want to push back a tiny bit and say I don't think I've ever thought, why don't I just fuck my mom?
But you know what? If you were Christian and you were alone with a vulnerable woman in your house...
who you probably hate for, like, abusing you as a kid? Maybe.
You understand that 100%.
Yeah, sure.
I don't like it either. But you get it.
Yeah.
You get it.
Sure.
If you're in that situation, you want to believe that all these women online just want to have sex with you.
Sure.
And your brain would think, wouldn't it be easier to just... That's how it is. I just believe that because that would be better. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't it be great if What's another depraved thing he did? Wouldn't it be great if I could steal this woman by pretending to be the person who's pretending to be me?
Wouldn't it be great if I can slice a hole in my taint and that will sprout into a vagina?
Yeah, maybe.
He tried.
I know. Wouldn't it? Now here's even the darkest moment, which we can all agree is Blue Spike having Christian stick the medallion up his ass, which is horrible.
It's definitely the darkest documented moment. Because him fucking his mom's pretty bad.
Yes. It's the darkest moment we have audio of.
Like, yeah, we not see it, but we hear it happen. Actually, I think there's a video of it.
That is the worst. And, but we can all just imagine Christian, I just want my PSN account.
That's the only reason he's doing it is for video games.
I mean, you get it. You get it. Like, I have been that depraved where I will do fucking anything for video games, or a thing, some kind of material possession.
Sure.
We get the desire to do that, and that's, I think, why. That's why we're interested, because we see where he's coming from, and we're also all secretly afraid that everyone sees us as Christian. When you fucking cut someone off in traffic, you go, they think I'm Christian. like they think I'm that fucking lowest of the low.
Sure.
When you say something weird at a job interview, you think they're looking at me like I'm Christian, like I'm bumbling and autistic and useless. You think you're Christian, and you are Christian. But also, that's why the trolls are attacking Christian. He so St. Thomas Aquinas, the man, the myth, the legend, he'll tell us that no one commits bad for bad's sake. That doesn't make sense. That's not in human nature to do. Any sin we commit is because there's a perceived good there. Like pornography, sex and intimacy are good. You're just going about it the wrong way. Stealing, having things is good, but you're going about it in the wrong way. And any sin is like a perversion of the good.
Right.
So what the trolls are doing, I think this makes a lot of sense, is they're trying to destroy in Christian the things that they hate about themselves, because they see the Christian in themselves. And if you notice what I think without exception, what the trolls do, even Blue Spike, is they always give Christian some kind of out.
They do, yeah.
Like you could just walk away. Like Christian's always telling Liquid Chris, just drop it. Everybody knows you're fake. Well, if everybody knows that he's fake, Christian, why? Who cares? Stop. Yeah. Just walk away. Blue Spike says it's either the girl or the PSN account. Now the girl doesn't exist and everything. That's all a lie.
Right.
Christian doesn't know that. He's giving Christian the opportunity to do something noble, to make a sacrifice for a woman, and Christian won't do it. And that's why Blue Spike keeps going. He desperately wants to destroy that weakness in Chris, which is the same weakness in all of us, and give Christian that chance to be a hero, thus redeeming all of us, which he never does. He, in fact, just gets worse and worse.
He really never does, and it's amazing how much worse someone can get.
Yes.
Like, you don't see it coming. Like, if he gets out of jail, I almost believe that he will convert to Islam and, like, join ISIS.
No.
You know what I mean? Like you might say, like, that's insane. That couldn't happen. But 5 years ago, if I said he's going to fuck his mom, you would have been like, no. He's going to hire a prostitute. He's not going to fuck his mom.
I probably would have. I don't think it's that crazy of a
20/20
thing.
hindsight. It makes perfect sense now, but, like, I don't know if it made perfect sense. Like, even when it, like, leaked to Kiwi Farms, everybody was like, this is fake. No. Like, these people who study Christian, like,
really,
they were like, this is fake. The footage is doctored, and it was, but, like, it was real still. They're like, this. There's no way.
What do you think about his parents?
His parents are terrible. They are so much at fault here. Yeah. But, like, that's the complication. Is, like, Christian he's still making decisions. He's still making bad decisions.
Yeah.
But a lot of it is his parents' fault.
Totally. His his mother just being openly rude to his father, and his father like verbally abusing all of them and just being so high and mighty all the time.
Yeah.
And whenever we're listening to audio of Bob talking, it's just, I'm pissed.
Yeah.
I'm just instantly pissed at how great this guy thinks he is. And entitled, him and Barb both are, which gave Christian all of his big entitlement issues.
Yeah, and I would say I think Barb is probably worse, except for the fact that Bob let Barb be like that.
Exactly, yeah.
But Barb is not just, she's very manipulative, you can tell in the conversations that we see, because we don't, even though Christian is so well documented, you don't see everything. But you can see that she's very manipulative, and she's also very controlling and very, like, at least verbally abusive to Chris, but at the same time is way too close and like almost like the weird single mom close to the son, like only child thing that you see a lot. It's like that, but like for instance, when they went to court after her and Chris ran a guy over twice, they at outside the game store.
Outside the game store.
She apparently, other people went because it's a court hearing. You can just go.
Yeah.
And they were saying that they were like way too close.
They were like
each
holding
other.
hands. And
yeah,
stuff.
and like up against, and this was years before he slept with her. But that's an example where I'm kind of on your side. Where like I guess you could have kind of seen that coming.
And and she knew about the sex dolls that he had.
Yeah, I also thought that was
dolls.
crazy. He like mentions it at some point, and she's just like doesn't say anything about it.
Yeah,
like just knows, and was at first against the transgender stuff, but then just let it slide. Like what? In fact, the dad seemed to be more against it, but then he died.
Yeah,
they're both hoarders as well. I mean, this is not as big of a moral fault, but it's pretty
a moral
bad.
fault.
It's pretty bad hoarding. Like the dad had, I think he may have died partially because of the hoarding. Like he was covered in bug bites and shit, like really bad apparently.
This is bumming me out.
Yeah,
let me really bum everybody out.
Okay.
That this is something that that occurred to me that made Christian a lot less fun.
Okay.
That's and so hey, if you want to keep having fun with Christian, don't listen to the rest of this show.
Okay, all
because I'm almost positive he was raped as a child.
Yeah.
Probably by the principal at the school that he went to, but maybe somebody else. I don't know, but
I know what you mean. I think 2 points of evidence that come to mind for me.
Let me finish.
Keep going.
So we have obviously we have the trans and homosexual tendencies. Mm-hmm. Look, we're all adults here. We all know why people are gay.
They're molested by older men at a young age.
I'm not an expert. I can't say without exception.
It's about 90%.
I'll say it's a pretty significant cause. So there's that, obviously. And then, but that could have been pornography or anything. What really tipped me off is he has a problem shitting himself.
Oh.
So.
That does make this less fun because I know exactly where you're going, and I never put that together.
Yeah, this is known among children or young people who. Sometimes if you're raped, you want to make yourself really, really not appealing at all. Mm-hmm. So they'll develop an issue with incontinence.
Yeah, I really, like, now that is a real big bummer because, like, I knew you were going to go there because, like, it's extremely well known. Like, it's just a normal, not normal, but, like, that is a normal reaction to that situation that is, like, just psychologically known. Yeah. So that's depressing. You're right. He was probably... That makes that make way more sense because why does he shit himself? There's no like other autism doesn't make you shit yourself.
No, it doesn't.
Like no. That's
that's
a bummer.
It makes everything less fun because if it's just a fucked up autistic guy, it's still not like right, but it's right. It's not making fun of a victim of childhood rape. You know what I mean?
He was almost that is almost more convincing. I have a couple other points, but that's like the nail in the coffin for me that like he was probably raped.
Yeah, and that's not cool. And that's I got a little bee in my bonnet about this. That's the fucking school system for you.
True.
I can't believe people send their kids to government strangers. Are you kidding me?
It's insane.
Do you know the fucking world you live in? And now you're sending an autistic kid who has problems communicating.
I would like to point out that this does go back to the parents again. Because there was a point at which he was having trouble with school. I don't remember what it was exactly, but it was something about like they were treating him badly. And the parents were like, you need to stop this. And they said, and the school like threatened them saying, you fuck off and don't try and get us to change, or else you will have to homeschool your kid. And they're like, oh, never mind. Yeah. We're sending our kid back to school. Doesn't matter. It's like, what?
Yeah, that's like, insane. I can't just the amount. I can't believe how selfish some people are. Like, my kid is the most precious thing in the whole entire universe. If anyone says a mean word to him, they're dead. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, that should be the natural reaction. You should be so far on that side of the equation that you have to calm yourself down. Like, okay, let's maybe not kill the guy. But you know what I mean? Like instead of the opposite, where it's like, I don't give a fuck about my kid, which is what they seem to feel about Christian.
I think a lot of people will point to. I don't think a lot of people are talking about that exact. He got raped as a kid.
No.
But I think a lot of people will go back to, and this is also horrible. The babysitter when he was like 18 months old, who locked him in a room, screaming, and then he didn't talk for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Most people go back to that, which is also awful. And yes. I don't know if you heard that little detail in the documentary. They kept hiring that babysitter after that happened.
I did not hear that detail.
I cannot believe that. And here's the thing about like, people will make mistakes parenting.
Sure. That's
fine. They're going to happen. Whatever. Where the trauma comes from isn't really the mistakes. It's the lack of dealing with it. Yeah. It's the lack of saying, I am sorry. Now, if a babysitter did that, you got to say, that babysitter's not coming around anymore. I'm sorry. I have fucked up. It's hard to do to a little kid. You got to really be your little kids. But if you have like a 7-year-old or something and a babysitter's mean to him, you go, oh, that's cool. We'll never have the babysitter ever again. That's horrible.
Right.
And then the trauma is like, oh, okay, gotcha. That's not how life is supposed to be. Thank you, mother and father, for
right.
for showing me that is horrible, abusive behavior. Now I'm actually kind of better off for it because now it's not make it right, but they're better off for it.
Right.
I cannot believe anyone would value their own flesh and blood so little.
Less than. It's not even less than the babysitter. It's like less than convenience. Because it would be too much trouble to find another babysitter. Like, to be clear, I'm not saying you should in this situation kill the babysitter. But I'm saying, like, if you put side by side, I'm a judge and I have 2 trials back to back, and they're the same exact situation as this. One killed the babysitter, and one did what Chris Chan's parents actually did, which was nothing. If I have to let one of them go, it's the one who killed the babysitter.
Because that person cares about their kid.
Because that person has his, like, he's a reasonable person.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. There's more too. I don't want to go too far off on a tangent, but there's more reasons to believe that he was raped. One of them is also that he gave this first of all, the principal thing. He was definitely at least molested, at least by his own account. He was at least molested by the principal, and or like groped or whatever. Mm-hmm. He says it didn't go any further. Maybe it didn't. But also, he later gives this. He was like pretending to be someone else, and gave this really weirdly detailed.
He was trying to infiltrate the trolls. So,
right.
Yeah.
And gave this really weird detailed account of him like being molested by older kids, or at least having a weird gay experience with older kids, and that like maybe it's just the effect of pornography. All this stuff together, though, makes me think he was raped.
That story is really creative for the creator of Sonichu.
That's what I'm saying. You know? Like, this is it was chilling hearing the story. It was
quite disturbing.
It wasn't like, oh, I've seen that on The Simpsons, like everything else he says. Mm-hmm. It was like, that sounds real. It sounds like real, or he's reading very strange pornography. And I'm not going to say it couldn't be the second one, but I am going to say he was probably raped.
The pornography issue is insane. How much porn this guy must have watched.
No, there is no doubt.
His mind is... You'll get that early on listening to or watching Christian stuff, is how warped this guy's mind is from porn. Talking about like things he wants to do to a girl is you would only get those ideas from pornography.
It's like stuff like, I don't want to get into detail.
No, let's not get into it.
No, it's not worth it. But you're right. It's completely like it is not something you would ever, no caveman ever even thought of it.
Yeah. So, but the pornography thing and a lot of it, I think, so we talked about eras a few episodes ago.
Sure.
And we talked about 2007.
Sure.
Pivotal year.
Sure.
What I've failed to mention that episode is that is also the year of Christian's discovery.
True.
And since 2007, we've seen the degeneration of the country.
Absolutely.
And the culture and society. And Christian went along with it. Exactly, to a T. In
yes.
2007, we still have Bush as president. In 2007, Christian is racist.
Yeah, he is.
Super homophobic.
Right.
Talks about God and Jesus.
Yeah.
And
second of those two things, pretty good.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
And by the end of it, he's trans.
Yeah.
He's trans. He wants to kill Donald Trump.
Yes. Permert.
Yes, permert. He won't say the name. He'll say it backwards.
Right.
And he's cool with the gays. He
goes to gay clubs.
He goes to gay clubs. This is exactly how the mainstream of the country has degenerated.
Yes.
I'm not saying that's how the country has. There's still a lot of cool people out there who are shadow banned. But
right.
But that's how the mainstream has gone from like George Bush, way too uptight, to gay, trans, hate Donald Trump.
To I have pierced my taint.
Yeah. Yes. And that's normal and cool now. We have. I'm trying to think of like fucking insane things that have happened. Too many to count.
Well, I would say too. This theory is
Caitlyn Jenner. Caitlyn Jenner running as a Republican in California. What? We started out with Jack 2 being a really good game, and we've ended up here.
Well, and that's the thing. There's a lot of tangents to go on there. One of them is just that, like, it should go without saying that Republicans are just Democrats 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. And like, that will just... And, like, voting for Republicans is like voting for, it's like smoking cigarettes instead of crack. You know?
Yeah.
But
one is super cool. One is just kind of cool.
Yeah, okay.
I'll let you decide.
Maybe that analogy was on the fly. So, but I was gonna say, this is something that has been noted before. I bought a book that I did not get to read through all the way called Warhol Christian, or Christian Warhol, which is a comparison of Christian and Andy Warhol.
Interesting.
And I'm going to read more. I was hoping to read it before, but it just came here on Friday, so I didn't have enough time to read it.
Yeah. Well, that's fucking Hyperborea for you.
Yeah, exactly. But he makes the comparison, and he says that Andy Warhol was like the person who, as a human being, epitomized the early stages of pop culture and how cool it was. And Christian is the human being who epitomizes the end of pop culture and American culture.
Yeah.
And like pop culture at least. And how not cool it is.
That's I like that. I like how that's put, because what my wife said kind of watching this is that Christian is what they want us to be.
Yes. He
consumes. He's interested in media. His opinions are retarded, and they're about shit that doesn't matter. Not only are they retarded, it's about shit that doesn't matter.
Yes.
And he just sits around on welfare, and he contributes nothing. He just exists, and he's easy, and he's out of the way. Anyone with any sort of authority can deal with him
So easily.
Extremely easily.
You could literally send him an email pretending to be from a video game universe and get him to lick a dick on the wall.
That happen for real?
You probably... So the documentary you listened to ends in 2017. Idea Guys are right after that. It's really crazy.
I know about the dimensional merge.
Yeah.
I know about that one. I don't know all the details, though.
He took a shit on the floor and he punched his mom. Both because people told him if he didn't do that, Nazis would invade his fictional universe. Nazis.
Doing crazy things because Nazis are... That's interesting.
It's a classic.
That's a classic. that's a 2016 classic.
Yes.
Where the fuck was I going with this?
Who even knows, dude?
He's what, like, advertisements want you to be.
Mm-hmm.
I have become so offended by every advertisement now. Like,
for sure.
Don't you want to eat this burger? No, not really. No, I don't. Indulge in the chocolate strawberry sensation. What is this? It's fucking creepy and weird.
I haven't watched an advertisement in years. Like, I refuse. You know, like...
Yeah. All your favorite Star Wars characters in one place. Fucking none of them? Great. It's everything is to the lowest of the low. Indulge. You love this, don't you? No. You know who does? Christian. Christian wants to eat that burger. Christian wants to indulge in strawberry chocolate fantasies. Christian wants all of his favorite characters in one place for $19.95 a month. I don't fucking want any of that. Yeah. But that's what the establishment wants you to do. That's what the mainstream big clown capitalism wants you to be.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, absolutely. Christian is the ideal consumer.
He is.
He is, and that is despite being the antithesis of the ideal human being.
Mm-hmm. He really is. Do you want to take a break? Talk about some
emails?
Sure. This is about when we do it. So here, let me pull them up. Give the pitch, Michael.
Okay, so here on this podcast, maybe you're joining us for the first time. You're interested in the Christian episode. We do not take advertisers. We don't do this dumb fucking Raid Shadow Legends shit, like any of that. Because
I do. I just got $8,000 to tell you guys about Raid Shadow.
I wish. No, but for real, we don't do any advertising, sponsorships, anything like that, because it would stop us, impinge on our ability to give you real opinions.
We were literally just talking about how shit advertisements are.
Yeah, I didn't even make that connection. Could we have ever done that and then segued into, and now we're brought to you by NordVPN? Like, it's like, no, we couldn't. So, and it's always going to color the way you view things. All these people are full of shit when they say that it doesn't. So instead, we take money directly from the people who consume this, and we just ask that whatever you think this podcast is worth, that's what you send. If you think it's worth $5, send $5. If you think it's worth $1,000, send $1,000. I'm not going to argue with how much. Maybe you think it's worth $1. If you think it's worth nothing, shut it up. It doesn't matter. You know, but like whatever you think it's worth, that's what you should send. And not only does that make sure, like, it gives us a good idea of like, oh, so people are sending a bunch of money. That was a good episode. Let's do more like that. But also, we're in talks with different people. If you want to produce an episode, real producer sort of thing. Anyone who donates to us is a real producer. I don't want to say like a real producer. They are a real producer, the same as Hollywood. You're getting credits. You can put it on your resume. It's literally exactly the same. But also, there are people who want to do that more directly. We're in talks with people who are like, hey, I'll give you, somebody told us, I'll give you $200 to watch this 51 episode season of Digimon. And we said, no, make it $400 because that is way too long of a show. But that's an example. Like, for the right price, we will watch, and like, if that's what you want, that's what you want. You're the people we care about, not the advertisers.
Exactly. And like you said, these are real producer credits. Put it on your resume. If anyone questions them, direct them to us.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're very happy to vouch because, frankly, we cannot do the show without your help. And it's been great. We're a new we're not making much money because we're a new show, but we're a new show and we're making money, which is a fucking miracle.
Yeah, absolutely.
So thank you guys so much.
Most new shows make literally $0 forever, and then a small percentage make money years later. So the fact that like episode 1 we're making money,
yeah,
it is quite. So thank you.
No, seriously, thank you. So the first person, our executive producer, is Roger A. with $15. $50. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We're
Thank you very
clapping
much, Roger. And our associate executive producer is Stephen K. with $5.
He's been sending pretty regular.
He comes in all the time with this.
I appreciate the consistent donations.
And these guys are on PayPal, so paypal.me/willitsendmetohell. You guys can also donate on patreon.com/willitsendmetohell. Those guys, that's a monthly donation, and we thank them the first show of every month, which already happened. This month. But yeah, so Roger A. and Stephen K. By the way, you guys probably know you can leave notes on PayPal. If you want to be credited as something else, tell me, but otherwise I'll just do first name, last initial. But yeah, those are the producers. Thank you very much. And we also need emails from you guys. We love reading your emails. For now, they're free because we're not getting inundated yet. We have a fair amount today. But yeah, talk to us about stuff, especially what we're talking about today.
Also, I just want to say, if you send a note on PayPal, it can sometimes get cut off, and it's kind of annoying. So just, it'd be better to just send an email and say, hey, I'm the guy who donated, here's my email, just so that it definitely doesn't get cut off. Just a little thing.
So our first email is from the one Wizarl, who's the Protestant guy. He gave us a very interesting email last time.
Right.
By the way, I talked to this guy on Discord. I don't know what about. He wanted me to do some episode or whatever, and so this is the guy who in the last episode was telling me to get a job,
right?
Because to stop being poor, and I was talking to him on Discord, and he wanted me to produce something, and I said, "Oh yeah, that's great. Donate $50. I'd love to do that episode." And I said, I actually don't have a job right now. so this fucking guy,
classic.
This guy. Oh, but I'm also not married with a kid. You don't have a job.
Yeah.
But
little Christian-esque, wouldn't you say?
But this guy sends in great emails, so let's read it now. So you laugh about the Protestant work ethic while planning to start your own businesses? Okay. Also, I'm sure that Michael is a vigorous reader of Maccabees. Snap.
I don't understand if that's an insult or not. I just want to be clear. First of all, I actually have read a lot more New Testament than Old Testament, so no, I haven't read Maccabees that much. I do know that is one Protestants got rid of because they don't like it, but I don't know what his implication even is here. To be honest with you,
on the topic of Mary, so it seems to me like you said that she was ascended up into heaven while still alive, a la Elijah, which isn't true. Parentheses, at least I don't remember it being said that she was one of the humans who had never died. So she did die. Now moving on, what
I like it isn't true. So it's not true. His reasoning is it isn't true. So it isn't true. Moving on. You that didn't prove any I don't know what you thought you proved there. You just repeated yourself.
Well, I don't know if that's the point of his she ascended into heaven body and soul.
Right, but he's just saying, so she didn't, she didn't ascend into heaven. So therefore, she didn't ascend into heaven. Moving on. You haven't proven anything.
Whatever. This is the preface.
Okay, all right. It's a strange preface.
Now, moving on, why would I want Mary to intercede for me when I have Christ? That's part of my larger confusion about Catholic saints. This is a legitimate confusion.
Sure.
Why would I need them to advocate for me? Christ is the ultimate advocate for men. Why would I need anyone else? Now, before I move on, the answer to that is because Jesus wants you to. And also, which he said on the cross, behold your mother. Christ, now, Christ is God, right? I think we're all in agreement there.
Hopefully. Hopefully we're in agreement there.
He could have just popped into the sky.
Right. He didn't have to be born.
No, but he came to us through Mary.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of seems fitting that we would go to him.
Well, and again, he hasn't addressed. It's very strange that I pointed out last time that it is literally in the Bible people being told by God to have someone else pray for them. And he's asking, why would I want to do that? It's I don't know, ask God. He's the one who told us to do it. It's such a strange thing. It's you haven't addressed what I said last time.
This is more related to what you said about Mary being special and being chosen to give birth to Christ. Is it not more noteworthy that before being chosen, Mary was just another regular person as sinful as everyone else than her being a paragon of piety and purity? Just curious. Is it not more noteworthy?
Well, I mean, first of all, you got to remember that we're all born with original sin. So if you were to assume that Mary was, as you're saying, as sinful as everyone else, then that means Christ would have been born with the stain of original sin. Mm-hmm. So, like, no, that would be really bad if that was true. Yeah. And also, like, why at that point you're saying that God's playing dice with the universe? Like not like God doesn't have some immense plan and Mary fits into that plan, but just like, it could have been anyone, and Mary was chosen at complete random, right? Mm.
Yeah, Mary's is the crown jewel of creation. She was designated from all time to be the mother of God. I don't know why Protestants don't think that's so significant.
I know, it's like
the fucking mother of some lady.
Could have been anyone. You know, it's like imagine
the mother of God.
Imagine it like a basic level. I come to your house and I bring you a gift. Yeah. I'll bring you like a chalice made of gold, dude. Wow. And your response is, I mean, you could have given that to anyone. Like, that's what this is. That's like, well, that's not, like, you could have given that to anyone. So it's really like, I'm nothing special. This is meaningless that you did this to me.
Weird.
It's like, yeah, I guess I could have given it to anyone. Like, true, I guess. But
God could have gave Jesus to anybody to birth.
Right.
But he didn't.
And again, like in the Bible, it says, "Blessed are you among women." So are you saying she's not blessed among women?
You're saying she is just as sinful as Christian?
Yeah, you're like, well, that's what I'm saying is like he's saying that she's just as sinful as everyone else, but the Bible says she's blessed among women. So like you're disagreeing explicitly with the Bible.
Once again.
Once again. Yeah.
BioShock question, which
we will get to BioShock next episode, right?
Yeah. If this is just a little quick question.
No. We'll read it next time.
Oh, this is a big question. I see. Yeah. Okay, so we'll leave that. The next episode is BioShock, by the way. Just remember that he sent a follow-up email. Just remember that the next episode was about Christian. So put the BioShock question aside for the next episode. Okay. Question about the real topic. Michael, how did you approach your... He says finance. He means fiance. How did you approach your fiance about you two watching the Chris Chan documentary together? And do you think you soon won't have a fiance after what she just watched sinks in a bit?
I mean, I don't know if we really even... She had listened to the podcast already, so it was just kind of understood that, like, if I'm going to be watching something for the podcast, she's just also going to be watching it. And then also, we just come from... She has not been on the internet, like, much at all. We come from very different cultural backgrounds. So it was just kind of like, she wants to know why I think this is so interesting. And then she watched, like, one episode, and it's like, oh, I get it. Like, seriously, like she likes watching it, So
sorry, I'm getting a drink.
Yeah, I know, you kind of just like left here. But no, I do not think I will soon not have a fiance after she watches it. She enjoys it. So
anyway, thank you that was a good email.
Yeah, thank you.
This is from
you skipped the part where he said, "Enjoyed the last episode. Glad you took the joshing in the spirit it was intended."
Oh, yeah, of course, dude. Stephen K. Oh, because even though you are a Protestant, we are brothers in Christ, and you still believe in Christ. You're just a little mistaken on a few things.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're Mormon or something, you were legitimately baptized. You're actually a Christian, so like,
So Stephen K. sent us another.
Did I say unless you're Protestant, unless you're a Mormon? Whatever.
You're good. Stephen K. hitting us again with a great email. I was surprised when you announced the Christian episode, but I'm very interested to hear your takes. I've always felt kind of uncomfortable with the idea of Christian.
That's
with
fair.
The concept.
Yeah, no, that's very fair.
Since he seems like an autistic kid who, due to abusive/neglectful parenting and internet bullying, mentally declined to the point of criminal insanity. Since there's no way to help the insane because professional help is either too expensive or coincides with the atrocious system in place for sentenced criminal offenders, It seems to me that internet trolling really pushed Chris off the edge, and there's no chance he can come back to a sense of normalcy. This isn't to be morally grandstanding. Chris is funny as shit to laugh at, and he's definitely not a good person. But it still seems weird how few people address the grim situation Chris is in.
Very good summary of the situation. Like what he just said. Very good summary of the what goes into thinking about Christian.
Chris has been fucked since like 2009. I mean, he is just past the point of ever having a normal life.
Noel, the guy who runs Kiwi Farms,
yeah,
he's pointed out something that I think is really interesting, which is that Kiwi Farms, by the way, it was founded originally to like look after Chris Chan basically and other what they call lol cows, as in people who you milk for laughs online. But he said something very interesting, which is Chris is now so famous, and this is before he molested his mom, but Chris is now so famous that there is seemingly nothing standing in his way from making a lot of money. But he doesn't. You know what I mean? Like his life, it's true, his life is kind of ruined, but if you put a different person into Chris Chan's shoes before he had sex with his mom, then like I feel like most other people would be able to turn that life around.
Well, there was a time when he was making money selling Sonichu medallions.
Very badly was he doing that. But
no,
yes.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's if we were back in like, I don't know, 2014 or whatever, when he was selling Chris Chan medallions for like $50, obviously I want a medallion.
I want one.
Handmade from Chris Chan. He needs the money. It's a perfectly fair. That's not exploiting him at all. It's fit. That's a fair.
I want that.
It's a fair price,
Yeah.
and I want it. He could probably sell it for more, but it's not like atrociously low.
Yeah.
But he can't.
He could sell for $200. I'd probably buy it.
Exactly. Yes. But he can't hack it. He can't hack doing the most basic Crayola model magic shit.
Yeah.
He can't do it.
Yeah.
He could have been rich. He could have been rich.
Well, and see, and the way he couldn't do it was like more sinful stuff. Like one of them was that like he was lazy and he wouldn't just make the stuff and he wouldn't fulfill his orders. And then one guy gave him a bad review because he didn't get his medallion.
Yeah.
And so then Chris said like, okay, I'll send you the medallion, and made like a different medallion than what he ordered, that instead of having the normal Sonichu face was like an angry, evil Sonichu that he sent. And it's like, that's not how you treat a customer. Like, just at a basic level. Like, you worked at Wendy's. You understand you just give him the thing he ordered. And then he ended up having to give him another medallion because he still was like, this isn't what I wanted. I'm bringing this up with eBay and you know. But so like wrath and sloth are the reasons he couldn't make money on that.
You think, when you think of the 7 deadly sins in pop culture, you'll think of, well like a dragon represents the 7 deadly sins, or maybe you'll watch a cool movie. You'll see greed in Full Metal Alchemist, and you'll think that's cool. But then you see sins in real life, and it's Chris Chan.
Yes.
Here's something to think about. Here's a good little Christian message you can take from Chris Chan. When you think of when you're about to sin, think, this is what Chris Chan would do. This is the low thing that Chris Chan would do. Absolutely.
Yep.
Don't do it. When you're online, you say, oh, that looks like there might be boobs if I click that. Chris Chan would click that. Mm-hmm. If you click that, you're like Chris Chan.
I want to say you have set it up just now in a way, which is maybe reasonable, but like you have just set up Chris Chan as the antithesis of Christ. you just said the opposite. Normally you say, what would Jesus do? And that makes you do the good thing. But you're saying to not do the bad thing, think about what would Chris Chan do, and that's the bad thing to do. So you've set them up as opposing forces. I just want to point that out.
It's like I want this to be like if someone has like hypnosis to quit smoking, like you'll get a really bad taste in your mouth when you think about a cigarette or something, or you'll picture something horrible when you think about smoking. When you're about to sin, I want you to look in the mirror and see Chris Chan. I want you to be Chris Chan when you're about to sin, because you are. Next email. Let's pull this up.
Is it the 700-pound, 70 IQ, 8 feet tall email?
Yeah, it's a really cool username.
Yeah, he said, I'll just start while you're looking at it. Salutations, Yeoman and or Dalton. I kid you not, I was just about to send an email with a joke about how Yeoman talking about lifting his 200-pound beer kegs down the stairs at his, quote, job, reminds me of Christian and the 5 to 10-ton doghouse. I must have some sort of precognition. Yeah, I don't like the comparison with Christian, but I thought it was funny.
I have to lift beer kegs all day. They must be 5 or 10 pounds.
All right, dude.
My question about Christian Weston Chandler is the following. 1, I guess questions.
Okay,
plural.
sure.
1, is there any one thing /event /moment that you think could have stopped Chris's downfall? Or was it more a death by 1,000 cuts?
Okay.
Well, let's address that one first.
Let's address that. I think one thing that could have stopped all of it, and I mean all of it, is his dad throwing the computer away.
Yeah.
The moment, you have to remember that his dad got mailed a picture of Chris naked that was taken from online, and he knew fully well that that's how that happened, and he didn't let Chris Chan on the internet for a month or something. Mm-hmm. If his dad, and I think if you take it even broader, what could have stopped Chris Chan at any moment is his dad putting his foot down at any single time before his death.
Yeah. It's very, when you think about, I don't want to cry or anything.
Okay.
But when you think of, because I'm a dad of a little boy, when we were watching those first episodes, because I watched this with my wife, we both know what happened to Chris Chan.
Sure.
We get the story. But when we're watching those early episodes and the picture of Chris Chan when he's 6 years old.
Oh, it's tough.
It's I'm going to cry just thinking about it, because that is such a perfect little boy. Mm-hmm. Who just needs love and fun and run and play outdoors, and it all could have been so much different if only his parents loved him.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
But they didn't.
And I think that's the thing, is obviously there is permanent damage being done continuously through the story, but I think at least during the time his dad is alive, almost if not all of it could have been reversed if he had just put his foot down and oh shit, I am the worst father to have ever lived. I need to change things.
Because a lot of people, way more than we like to think, a lot of people have parents who don't love them.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Not everybody is Chris Chan.
True.
That's something you got to think about.
True.
Also, when people, this isn't something that I think anyone listening to this would do, maybe, because I think we're all kind of more in the know about Chris Chan.
Sure.
But some people will say, he has autism, leave him alone. Fucking so many people have autism.
Yeah.
They're not Chris Chan.
Some people actually doubt he has autism.
There
is controversy about literally every part of his life. And I just want to point that one out because it is out there, because a lot of people have made, they say at the very least, if he has autism, which I think he does, but if he does, then he uses that consciously as an excuse to do more shitty things. And so it does not excuse anything.
Oh, yeah, it's part of the whole entitlement issue that he has. He's always been told he has autism, so he's different. It's different for him. It's harder for him, so he gets to do it. I've come so far as a boy with autism. I've seen you. I think you saw this too. If anyone hasn't seen this yet, Love on the Spectrum on Netflix is one of the best things I've ever seen in my life. You'll laugh, you'll cry. It's such a wonderful time.
It's a dating show about people with autism.
It's fantastic.
Like a reality show.
It's fantastic. It's like a little mini documentary. It's like 4 episodes. It's great. I wholeheartedly recommend it.
It's pretty good.
None of these people are like Chris Chan.
No.
It has nothing to do with autism, what happened to him. So, but I think you're right. Was there anything that could have stopped it along the way? His dad not being an absolute lazy piece of garbage at any point.
At any point. The other joke answer, let's be clear, I think this is a joke answer, but I will still refute it like it's not a joke. The joke answer is his parents could have not given him vaccines. But I want to point out that that is not true. Not because that's not why he's autistic, but because he would have just been evil in probably a more conniving way if he wasn't autistic.
He would have been way better at being evil.
That's the thing. Like, I think if I like, because somebody could say that, our audience might say that. Yeah. Might say, like, well, we could have stopped him from being autistic. And I would respond, but it wouldn't have stopped him from being evil.
Yeah.
And maybe that's worse. So...
his second question is, do you think most of his problems were caused by his nature or by his upbringing? Was he always doomed to be at the very least weird and an outcast? Or could a better family life, possibly better nutrition, better nutrition, dude, have allowed him a normal life? I wish you all the very best.
I have more to say about this when we get into my section, so I don't know if you just want to save that one for a second, because I will get into that.
Were they caused by his... Well, it's hard to say because lots of people have really, really horrible upbringings.
True.
And they don't all do that. It's
True.
Now, when you die, God takes all this into account.
Yeah, that's the thing. God will know. Do I know? No. But God will.
Yeah, so if... Just a little thought experiment. Since God is all just... This is known.
Yes.
This is established
part of the
fact.
definition of God.
Part of the definition of God. He's all just. If you have if someone has a really, really shitty, like atrocious childhood, and they murder somebody, when you go, you're still gonna go to hell. But you might not get like worse hell as someone who had a great childhood and still just was so full of malice that they killed somebody. You know what I mean?
Well,
God
and
takes
there
it all
are
into
situations where, like, maybe you have a deathbed conversion, and that's allowed to happen at all because of the understanding of the and the mercy because of the situation you were in. Like there is no, basically whatever happens to you at the end is just, and that is by definition.
This is all to say. This is all me saying that. Your upbringing does not excuse you doing wrong.
Oh, for sure.
It should be taken into account because we are human beings and we're empathetic and we're sympathetic, but it does not excuse wrongdoing.
No,
wrong is wrong no matter who does it, no matter the reason. We have one from Matthew. Now, this is funny. I know Matthew, and I let him know we're doing a Christian episode because I thought he'd want to be an executive producer. But as Matthew has told me, and multiple other people who I've said, hey, I know you like Christian. Do you want to be an executive producer? Get your name on this. They've all said, I don't have a job.
Yep.
I don't have any money.
I also know Matthew, and he definitely does not have a job. I think he's getting a job.
Good for him.
Good for him. Donate.
Fucking get a job. Whenever you think, should I play video games right now or apply to a job? What would Christian do? Think about that. Hey guys, it's Matthew.
I just realized that what you said earlier, I literally said that you described Christian as the antithesis of Christ, and didn't realize that makes Christ the antichrist.
I thought that's what your whole point was.
But I didn't say the word. Like, I didn't think about the fact that we have described Christian as the antichrist.
You know, he's not the capital A antichrist, but he is the Antichrist. He's always not doing what Christ would do.
He might be a what's the word?
He's a
for
type.
It? A type, exactly.
He foreshadows.
He foreshadows the Antichrist.
Hey guys, it's Matthew. Oh man, where to begin? Christorians are such a multifaceted thing. I think some of them are going to hell, and some of them maybe not. The trolls definitely fall into the former category, fucking with Chris's life for entertainment. But you have to remember, with trolls, we wouldn't have Cristory.
Without trolls, I think he must mean. Without trolls, we wouldn't have Cristory.
Yeah. But it also goes both ways, because people wouldn't be as motivated to troll Christian if he wasn't so well documented. My verdict is that if you are a silent observer, you're probably fine. Okay, I'll comment on this in a second. If you're someone who's documenting Cristory, you're placing your soul at risk. And finally, if you're going out of your way to troll Chris, you're pretty much fucked. Now, if the question was if Chris himself was going to hell, absolutely no question. No explanation needed. Goodbye and Godspeed, gentlemen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think being a... So, I've been thinking lately about when you should just say no.
Okay.
There are times I think I'm going to approach more things in my life that way.
Sure.
I think you're not going to like this.
Okay.
I think when you're watching Evangelion and it gets to a naked 14-year-old girl, you just go, no. I think you just say no. I don't think there's anything worth that anymore.
Maybe.
I think... I know...
To be clear, for people who haven't listened to the Evangelion episode, it is an animation. I agree with you if it was a little...
Oh, yeah.
Like,
yes.
I just want to make sure the different... I'm not excusing one, but I am pointing out the difference that I agree 100% with you. If I'm watching fucking the new Batman and there's a 14-year-old girl, I'm walking out of the theater, you know?
Yes. But it's not... Well, hold on, let's see what's going
wait a minute. What are they going to do?
I think even with Evangelion, at that point...
I'm fine with that being your opinion. I just want to make sure that was...
Yes. That's very... If you're unaware, that's animated.
Yeah, I just want to make sure people might not know.
You just say no. I know a guy. I was telling somebody about Christian, and he said, "Oh yeah, I saw that. A friend of mine was showing me that, and I just kind of went, that's not for me." And I think that is probably the right. I think that's probably the right decision.
Maybe. I
think if we were all a little bit more mentally adjusted. Now we're living in 2022, so things are fucked. Mm-hmm. But I think if we had our head more in the right place, we would have gone, ew, let's do something else. Looking at Christian stuff. But we all just kind of keep watching. And I think that is bad. I think that's probably bad for us. But we all did. We already have. So let's have a moral discussion about it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I don't know. It doesn't seem good.
I don't know. All right, is that where we're stopping with the emails?
No. There's more emails.
Okay.
I wanted to get that out.
I know what you mean. There is sort of, when you're looking at Christian stuff, there is kind of often, or at least early on, a sort of like, should I be watching this? It's kind of like you're a kid watching like porn or something for like the first time, and you're like, should I be watching this? I feel like I'm not supposed to see this.
Well, stuff like that, you know immediately. Stop. But then there's always something that says, hold on, wait, let's see what's going on. And that's kind of what Christian isn't as bad as porn.
No, and I didn't have the same reaction either. It wasn't like, ooh, this is bad. It was just like a whisper of that, like, this could be bad.
Yeah, watching Christian stuff, you go, what is this? This is not right.
My sensor is turning on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like something has walked by my front door and turned on my automatic light. I don't know if it's a deer or a burglar yet. But there's something there, and I'm spooked.
Yeah, and we're all already a little bit of Cristorians, so this episode's worth doing, and I think there are like moral lessons to take out of this.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna like encourage anybody else to get into Christian. I don't think.
I don't know. That's an interesting question. I'd have to think about that more. Because
I feel like almost like my soul is tainted now because I know about Christian.
I don't know about that.
But not that that's necessary. I don't know. I don't know. Is it good for the purity of my soul seeing him fuck a blow up doll yelling Jule and thinking it's funny? Like that is like so depraved and horrible. Like just it's like Evangelion. I think there's I don't like Evangelion, but I think there's artistic merit in it still. But despite there being artistic merit, you just stop. It's pedophilic. There's pedophilic elements to it, so just stop. I think there's something so sick in and I'm saying this about myself. In seeing fucking Christian having sex with a blow-up doll saying Jule. Mm-hmm. And look, that's funny.
Right.
I hate that I think that's funny. That's not good.
Sure.
That's like, And that's me. That's in me now. Actually, that was our last email, by the way.
That's what I thought. One guy said, cheers, lads.
The next one was just Roger saying, cheers, lads, which is nice note. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You can send us emails at willitsendmetohell@gmail.com. Send us your emails. I especially want to hear what you guys are thinking about BioShock.
Yeah, we are covering BioShock next time. If you're not aware, BioShock is a video game. It came out, I think, around 2007. I think it may have come out in 2007. In that year?
Stop whispering when you're...
Sorry, I don't know. I was unsure. But I know it came out around that period, I think. 2006, maybe. And it's a video game, first-person shooter about an underwater city, and it's all based on objectivism, the philosophy of...
Ayn Rand.
It's like very heavily based on that.
Yeah, it's
very interesting.
Yeah, I have a lot to say about it.
I've already played through it in preparation for the podcast, and I played it years ago too, so I'm ready to talk about it.
I'm really excited for the BioShock episode. Send in your emails fucking quick. This episode got delayed a week because my whole family was sick, but we're probably recording the next episode.
Next week.
Probably next week, so get those emails in. Fucking quick.
Luckily, I had mentioned that on stream that we were doing a BioShock episode, so we've already gotten like 2 or 3 BioShock emails. Like we'll just have to go back through and find them. But
yeah, so send those in quick. willitsendmetohell@gmail.com. This is in the description. Wherever you're listening to this, YouTube, Spotify,
some podcast app,
Podkicker, wherever you're getting stuff, you can find all the links there. You can also donate, paypal.me/willitsendmetohell, patreon.com/willitsendmetohell, Twitter @sendmetohell2. You can, Michael on Twitch, what is it?
Twitch.tv/yeomanvidya, which is YEOMANVIDYA.
Also Yeoman Vidya on YouTube.
We put up a lot of basically, if you want to hear my thoughts on something like BioShock while I'm playing it, before maybe sometimes going a little more depth, and then videos that also go into depth about different things, like some weird hentai game that when you take the porn out is now like a really deep Christian message, check out my YouTube. But also I'll just say, obviously, please donate what you think this is worth, but also if you do want to set something up, like you're like, hey, there's that new Batman movie coming out. It looks really fucking good. I want them to cover that, so here's some money. How much would it take you? I'm going to tell you right now, it would not take much money at all to convince us to see that new Batman movie. But
it looks awesome.
It looks pretty good.
You can also follow me on Twitter, @cheddar_breeze. I've been tweeting up a fucking storm lately, let me tell you.
You have, yeah.
Some bangers.
You don't come up very often on mine for some reason. Like it's very rare one of your tweets actually shows
Shadow
up.
ban.
Shadow ban.
I have notifications on for your tweets.
I haven't been doing it as much.
What the
but
hell,
I feel like,
man?
Yeah.
I'm not on your notification squad?
Oh, I didn't even realize.
Dude, we have a podcast together, and you don't get tweet notifications from me?
Yeah, I'd never even thought of it.
You can retweet me all the time.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and I'm on Twitter @yeomanvidya.
We're also on Letterboxd if you want to check
it'll be
the
in the
links in the
so.
description. Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, all our cool shit. Anyway, you got any little tangents you want to go on? I have a little note here for tangents.
I got some other things to go on. So we've covered most of what I had to say about this, and you've made it even just more depressing. But I will say that I took a lot of the same things in a different way, and that is that you sort of, and I think with good reason, avoided the question of will Cristory send you to hell. I think that is a real question, and there's a couple things I want to point out. One is a little bit of just a note to something that you said, which is you said you think that you are that you are Christian. You were talking about you think that when you're doing something, like you cut someone off in traffic or something, like that they must think of me, not literally, obviously.
Yeah,
but
that's what everyone. When you feel embarrassed,
sure,
you're afraid someone sees you as Christian.
See, and I want to point out there is a difference, and this is the problem with Christianity, that there's this endless amount of layers. But I'll get into that too. You think you're Christian doesn't.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's the same as an insane person. Insane people think they're sane. Mm-hmm. Sane people question their sanity.
Okay, yeah.
So, but then what does that mean? Does that mean he's evil and you're not truly evil because you're afraid to be like Christian? Or does it mean he's crazy and you're not crazy because you worry about being like Christian? Mm-hmm. Who knows? I do want to say though, I think on a very broad level, this, the study of Christian is, in a lot of ways, it's a morality play that happens to be real. And it's in that way one of the best morality plays ever written. And you went into this a little bit because, well, first of all, it's the 7 deadly sins. But like you said, in most morality plays, somebody is, and broad definition of morality play, somebody's going to relate to the villain. Mm-hmm. And not just relate to the villain, but prefer the villain, like the villain. With Christian, we have somehow, I say we as if he's like a creation, but like Christian's life depicts all 7 of the 7 deadly sins without ever anyone looking at that and saying, that's cool. Mm. Ever. And I don't think there is any work of media that has ever accomplished that. Mm. So that's, and so in that way, I think the study of Christian could send you to heaven in a way that moral, like stories with messages to them don't do as successfully. And I think in a way, and you might say like, well, this is a real human being and it's bad of us to look at it this way. And I think the only thing that makes Christian so uncomfortable to look into and think about in this way is that it's funny. Because you don't feel bad reading about like the Japanese boiling babies in World War II. You don't feel like you're a bad person for reading about that.
Yeah, okay.
But if you laughed at it, you'd feel bad.
True.
The worst part about Christian as a story is that he's funny. If somebody like, and again, if I'm sitting watching Christian, I laugh, maybe I'll feel bad. But if I'm like watching it as a documentary and like, this is a terrible human being, but like this is an important part of history and I need to study this, I wouldn't feel bad at all. And I don't know what that means. I don't know what to do about it because it is funny.
It is.
And is it like, does it say something about me? Should I not think it's funny?
That's why
is it
I'm
the
same?
Saying,
that's what I'm saying. I feel tainted by it.
And but I don't think it's a problem with this Christian's life and the study of Christian. Like, I think it's a problem with us. Like, I don't think it's a because again, if you laughed at like babies being boiled, you're reading about like Japan in World War II, then that's a problem with you, right? So, like, obviously, reading that history isn't immoral. So I don't think it sends you to hell in that way. I think you're already partially there in a way if you're having that reaction. But unfortunately, all of us do. Anyone I've ever met thinks it's funny. Maybe a lot of people think it's also very not funny, but they still think parts of it are very funny. Yeah. And maybe does that mean it's objectively funny? I don't know. But I think if you do look at it as a morality play or like as a story with a message, it accomplishes not just the 7 deadly sins things, but so many messages it explores better than any story ever written. And another of those, and this is basic stuff and then much less basic stuff. But basic stuff is like the dangers of the internet. Mm-hmm. You could not write a better story about the dangers of the internet. You couldn't. You couldn't write a better story about ignoring people who bully you. Or just walking away from a problem. Or you couldn't write a better story about bad parenting. And part of the reason you couldn't write a better story is because you couldn't make it more subtle and yet also more obvious. It's because it's just so conflicting, all of it. Like the parenting is subtle enough that for years, everybody really sympathized with Bob, his dad. Mm-hmm. And yet it is so obvious that he is one of the worst people in the entire story. And if you wrote that story, that dichotomy would not exist. You wouldn't be able to do it. It's like reading Lolita. And like one of the great things about how Lolita is written is that at least on the first read through or so, that might change if you read it more often, but like Nabokov, the writer of Lolita, the story, has written a story about a pedophile and like a terrible person. And yet you read it and you sympathize for him. This does that better. Like Christian's life does that better, and yet Nabokov does it in a way where you're like, he's kind of like a cool guy in some ways. Like he writes really well, like the pedophile, because it's written in first person. Like he writes really well. He's convincing. He tries to.
He's suave.
He tries to portray it in ways that it's good, like it's love and like all this stuff. But Christian is always bad, and yet he accomplishes the same thing. You're still sympathetic. And I say he as if somebody wrote this. It's God is the only person who could possibly lay credit to this. And yet it's so evil that it clearly wasn't just like Like, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, that's a complicated topic that I'm not going to get into right now. But that I guess I will somewhat get into that, because this is also the best story I have ever seen about free will versus determinism. Because you are constantly on the razor's edge of, well, he's an autistic kid, so you can't really, like we shouldn't laugh at him, that, like, he can't help it. But he's evil, and clearly he deserves all of this, and he's 100% responsible. But his parents were, like, really bad, and, like, really he's not responsible. But he just molested his mom. But he was probably raped as a kid. And it's like you...
You can do that forever.
You can do that forever. You can literally do that forever. And it is, again, you could not write a better story about free will and determinism. And so, if you sent me, Chris, like you published the Quickie, and it was a work of fiction, I would say this might be the greatest work of fiction ever made. But as someone's life, I think you can still pull all those messages out of it. But I don't know if you should. Like, I don't know how, it's so, and that makes it better. That makes it even deeper and more interesting of a story. And so at the end, it's like, I don't think it will. It's Christian at the end of the day is life. And whether or not it's going to send you to hell is the same as asking whether or not your life is going to send you to hell. And not just because of, like, the determinism versus free will aspect that goes into all of our own lives, but also you can take out of Christian's life anything. You can look at Christian's life and say, you can go for, like, full Calvinist and, like, we are so depraved. None of us is going to be saved. We have to be, like, some of us must be predetermined to be saved and the rest of us are just doomed. Or you could say, look, this is sin. This is why we need to be saved, because all of us could be this evil and this depraved. Or you could just fall into complete pride and say, fuck, I'm happy I'm not like that. I'm cool as shit compared to Christian. And, like, that's also true. You know, there's probably no one listening to this that that's not true about. But there's just so many levels to it. And I think ultimately, like I said, I think it was kind of right of you to avoid the question of whether or not it'll send you to hell to some extent. Because I think this is the first episode we've had where there is not a clear answer in any way. Because this is a person's life. It is up to you. And everything we've covered, that is somewhat the case. It is up to you whether or not it'll send you to hell. If you're into it with the right mindset, you can like take the good things out of it while leaving the bad. But this is that to the extreme. I think you are the final arbiter of whether or not this will send you to hell, but it can easily send you either way.
I mean, it's a real life. These are real life events.
Right.
I don't know how you could even, like, say that would send you to hell. You know, I guess.
Well, the study of it.
Yeah,
But that's the thing. That's why I'm comparing it to, like, World War II or something. Like, you can study World War II, and would you say that would send you to hell?
When you stare into the abyss stares back.
And see, like, just like that, we've added another layer. Like, the scales have tipped again with just one phrase. And this happens forever when you're discussing this. And I think that's just life.
I'm afraid a lot of what people on, like, Kiwi Farms or anyone who gets into this stuff, I don't know their hearts or anything, but I don't think a lot of people are taking moral lessons out of this.
Sure.
I think they're laughing at him.
Sure.
And also, especially with just how much views Geno Samuel is getting.
Oh yeah.
I think people are just getting more internet cred because they know about Christian. Now they get the memes. Now they get the jokes.
There's probably yeah.
So I don't know. And the fact that when I'm looking at our Christian Sonichu and I see no discussions, anything. Now it's Reddit, so they're all fucking losers anyway.
Sure.
But there's no discussion of anything like this.
The only thing I see is people do compare different trolls. I've seen that. Even on the Reddit. When I was searching for other stuff, it would come up on Google. And I'm now embarrassed that I used Google at all. Now I feel dumb for like I had to justify why I was not on Reddit, but at the same time I revealed that I used Google. So I dug myself in a hole either way.
No internet cred, Mike.
No internet cred at all. DuckDuckGo steals your information too, so I don't know what to do anymore. All right,
well.
but
There's that one you can pay for.
I don't. Maybe I should. I don't know. I never heard of that one. But Search X or whatever, I think it's supposed to be good. I don't know. But
yeah, it's a meta search engine.
Yeah, which just uses Google.
What the fuck do we use now?
I don't know. I don't know what to use. Yahoo, Netscape. But what was I fucking saying before we went on a search engine tangent?
No one's talking about this.
Oh yeah, I do see people even on that Reddit talk about like things like, hey, Blue Spike was the worst, right? And he was clearly evil, and like Liquid Chris wasn't that bad.
Sorry,
that kind of thing.
I'm gonna interrupt you just for a little teensy second.
No, go for it.
Blue Spike's even worse when you think about how Christian was almost definitely raped.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
But then also, and this is where it just keeps going. And I have to just add another layer. Because Christian chose to stick the medallion up his ass. His other choice was to lose video games.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're right. It is even worse of Blue Spike to have done that. But also, Chris chose it. So
he did.
It just never ends. This complication never ends. And it feels like the kind of thing that like you just won't know until you die. What the actual answer to any of this is. Like he is. I feel like this it shows the complexity of life. That like he is the most documented person on the planet, and I know less about him than anyone on the planet in a way.
Because there's so many questions involving his motives.
Yeah,
and everything.
The more you know, the less you know.
Well, it's like when my dad said like, "Hey, please do not do Christian," and I sent him an email. I said like, "You don't understand."
Yeah,
we're not making fun of him. It's his parents are a Molyneux episode.
Yeah.
The trolls and their motives and why they do what they do is fascinating. Mm-hmm. How the trolls later become his saviors at some point, like looking after him. And the Oedipus incident.
Yeah.
Is there's so much there to dig up. We've barely scratched the surface of any of this.
You know what? I think another thing that needs to be said is I think if you dug in with enough detail to anyone's life, it would end up looking like this.
Oh no.
I think there is an element of that.
You know? Yes.
That's what I'm like for real.
Yes. There's shit I've done. If everyone knew about it, it'd be like, what did he mean by this?
Oh, 100%.
I can't believe he's that depraved. And it's like, well, I am. We fucking all are. We're all Christian. Mm-hmm. I'm trying not to be. Christian's not trying not to be.
That is the difference. And I don't know what it means, but I think that is the best message you can. Like, I think it is up to you somewhat what you take away from this.
That's interesting. To me, I am the most documented person who's ever lived.
Exactly.
And there's what would everybody say when I'm just laid bare?
And I think the best thing to take away from this is the opposite of what most people take away from this. Most people will take away, fuck, I am happy that I am not Christian, and also, haha. And I think the better thing to take away from this is, fuck, I am really pretty similar to Christian. I'm gonna go cry.
Yeah.
It's like it reminds me of a song lyric, Sufjan Stevens, the song about the serial killer who dressed as a clown and raped kids.
No, not Robert. John Wayne Gacy. His Illinois album.
Yeah,
he's got a new album, by the way. It's good.
Is it?
Yeah.
He's become more gay over time.
He has become more gay.
Yes,
he did the soundtrack to Call Me By Your Name.
He used to be religious and then he became gay. And I'm not a fan of the transition.
Like Christian.
Wow.
Oh.
I'm gonna write a book, Sufjan Stevens / Chris Chan. But he has a line in the John Wayne Gacy song. He's talking about a serial killer who molested children and then killed them and buried him under his porch and dressed like a clown. And he says, on my best behavior, I'm really just like him. And the first time I heard that line, I was like, that is a fucking ridiculous thing to say.
Someone should call somebody about Sufjan Stevens.
Yeah, exactly.
I have information that may lead to the arrest of Sufjan Stevens.
Second listen through, I'm crying.
Yeah.
Because he's right about all of us.
I can laugh at Chris Chan playing Little Big Planet instead of making his medallions to make pretty good money for the amount of work he's doing.
Yep.
When I do the same thing literally every day of my life.
There is a moment where you're sitting down playing EU4 with Chris Chan's comprehensive history playing on your headphones while you do it, and you're thinking, oh.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
And I think if you take that away, then it will send you to hell. I mean, it'll send you to heaven. Mm-hmm. But the average person doesn't take that, and it will get them closer to hell. But it's real life. So I that's the most I can say about will it send you to hell or not.
Would you recommend somebody to get into
I have no
Cristory?
idea. I have no clue. Because it's like you know what it is?
What is it, Mike? Tell me what it is, Michael.
I feel like I would recommend it to smart people.
Uh-huh.
Not even smart people. I take it back. No. I throw that out the window. I'm completely wrong. I feel like I would recommend it to very charitable people.
Okay.
And not recommend it to anyone who I think is going to think it's really funny.
I
recommend it to people who think it's funny. But not people who think it's
But
I don't know.
Let me tell
that
you,
might be wrong too.
Do the charitable people need that? They're already charitable. They're good. It's like, so Chris Chan shows the ugliness of humanity, which is good and bad. Because people can take that ugliness in we're all fucked. I'm going to be as depraved as possible because it's over. It's all dust to dust. Who gives a shit? But I feel like that maybe in this horrible transhumanist age, we need to kind of see that ugliness a little bit more. But also I see that every day, everywhere.
Right.
But I'm also in a transhumanist you go girl age. So
I've made a decision.
Okay. Okay. Michael thought about it. All right. What is it?
It will send you to heaven. And let me tell you why.
Okay. Anyone. This is the average person.
Yes. This will send you to heaven if you watch all of it. You keep going. You do not stop. Like because I say this for two reasons. One is if you just consume a little bit of Chris Chan, all you think is funny, haha, this guy sucks, and I'm happy I'm not him. That's not good. But I just realized that I'm saying none of the people, Geno Samuel, Null, any of these people who have documented Chris Chan for years, all of them have expressed. The guy who wrote the book I was reading about Andy Warhol and Chris Chan, all of them have expressed the same sentiment, which is, I feel like Chris Chan is really like me in a lot of ways. They have all said that. So I think if you consume enough Chris Chan media, it seems, and I'm talking this empirically, it seems that is the conclusion that you will eventually come to. And that is a very, very good conclusion to come to.
It is. This reminds me of a quote from Werner Heisenberg.
Okay.
The first gulp from the glass of natural sciences will turn you into an atheist, but at the bottom of the glass, God is waiting for you.
I love the application of that into Chris Chan because that means the first gulp, the first viewing of Chris Chan will turn you into a shitlord. But at the bottom of the glass, white knighting is. I don't know how you would translate that into Chris Chan lingo.
Well,
the first gulp will make you a ween.
The thing is, ween, by the way, is someone who
low effort troll.
Low effort troll. So this is when I think about it in my own life. when I first discovered Christian, which is when he pepper sprayed a GameStop employee.
We haven't even mentioned him pepper spraying a GameStop employee because he wanted them to stop selling the new Sonic Boom video game because Sega changed the arm color of Sonic in the game from tan to blue, which was unacceptable.
I believe that is proof he has autism.
But, interesting point. Interesting point.
But that's
autism. They cannot handle change. That's true.
Yeah,
they can't abstract well.
That would be an autism trait. There.
That's true. That's true.
So that's when I first discovered him. Mm-hmm. When I did that, I was not Christian at all, and I thought that was funny. And he was a loser, idiot, who I'm going to laugh at. And then I found out he burned down his house because he had a coffee maker plugged into the bathroom.
And I just want to say, all these things are hilarious, and he is an idiot loser, and it's so funny.
It is.
Like all those things are true. That's why there are layers.
And now that I've been this isn't like a recent thing where it has been more heavier Christian study recently for the episode. But sure. I've always been kind of keeping tabs on Christian. You learn about Christian here and there as you go. And the more and more I learn about Christian, the more that is exactly what I see. Is I see Christian in me.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's another way in which Christian is the antichrist.
Yeah, you should see the antichrist in you.
Yeah. And
you gotta identify that.
Well, and just like how even just like receiving the Eucharist, a common prayer, a common like idea, or even just like imitation of Christ and like different. There's the idea of may I decrease and you increase. Like may Christ increase in me.
Yes,
because
I must decrease.
Because
must
I
increase.
am Christian. Mm-hmm. I am the Antichrist.
Yeah, we are.
And if you take that message away, I think it'll send you to heaven. And I think it seems empirically that with enough study, that's the message people take away.
I guess that seems to be what happens with deep study.
Yeah.
Should I post this on our Christian Sonichu?
Yeah. I mean, we made fun of them a little bit, but I'm not going to say they're all retarded. Not now that you're posting it.
Oh yeah, on Reddit.
I'm not a Reddit fan. Let's just say that. But
for a while when I was putting the baby down, he just lay on my chest for a while, and I just go on like Twitter or something. And then I got bored of Twitter. And then I got bored of Instagram like instantly. Instagram blows.
Yeah, it really
So I
does.
said, all right, I'll make a Reddit account. I'll see if there's something interesting. Nothing.
The only interesting, this is a tangent, but the only interesting part of Reddit is like very few subreddits like "Am I the asshole?"
Yeah, sometimes it's just boring.
Yeah.
Or like, hey, how do I make this mod work? Look up that mod and then type in Reddit.
That's super useful. If you want, that's how I use Reddit, is like shit like that. Basic, dumb questions.
Yeah, Reddit's good for that.
Because Yahoo Answers just doesn't cut it.
If you're listening to this and you're on Reddit, I guess you're okay.
I mean, I'm not going to lie like that, but you should do something else. I bet Christian used Reddit. He was more of a Twitter guy,
He's more of a Twitter guy.
Yeah. And a Flipnote Hatina guy.
I think, I wonder, have you seen like pictures of like Reddit meetups?
Yeah.
They are Christian.
Yeah. Well, it's the same. This is a whole other aspect that we've only barely touched on about Christian. But that's the, well, you touched on it some. But you could go so much further into it, which is like his relationship to culture. And like his entire worldview has clearly been shaped by television.
Yeah.
And that is Reddit.
Well, I mean, that's yes. But, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, we started out with George Bush. And he's a conservative, and then by
the way, George Bush blew up the towers. I'm not like a fan of George Bush or anything.
No, oh yeah, no.
Just to be clear.
No. George Bush is one of the worst presidents of all time.
Sure.
Which I think people only see in hindsight.
Sure.
But
well, some people hated him, but maybe not for the same reasons.
Probably for really dumb reasons.
Kind of a tangent.
But I mean, when you think about like 1900 America versus 1920 America. How different is that really?
Sure.
You know? And then you think about 2007 America versus 2022. A smaller period of time.
Right.
And think about that immense change.
Yep.
And that change is reflected exactly in Christian.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And he is, and that's why I want to keep reading this Andy Warhol Christian book, because it seems like that's the element that's what he goes into.
He's the man of his time.
He is. He is a man of his time. Like the Antichrist.
Like the Antichrist,
like
yes.
Napoleon.
Yeah. He does. He reflects the times perfectly. He's now currently in a polyamorous marriage with several fictional characters.
That is 100% true.
You tell me that's not going to be on the cover of Cosmopolitan in 2 weeks. Someone doing that. And
2 weeks is
17-year-old.
pessimistic, but you change the time frame, and I agree with you completely. And you might not be mistaken about 2 weeks either.
I mean, you think about so you think about when Grand Theft Auto San Andreas came out.
Sure.
And the pushback from the mainstream media, from something so violent and horrible.
Right.
And now Cosmo is giving 17-year-old girls anal sex tips.
You know,
it's like, are you fucking kidding me? How both stupid takes, but can you fucking believe how quick we turn that around?
Right.
That's Christian.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, that's all
I don't know what else there is to say. I mean, so I think it'll send you to heaven long term, and it'll send you to hell short term. So don't start watching Christian and then die.
I think, I would probably say don't. Mm-hmm. If you're into Christian, just don't tell your cool friend about Christian, because they're gonna think this is hilarious. Mm-hmm. Just don't. If you're semi into Christian, you have to keep going. You have to keep going.
Which is probably everyone listening to this.
Yeah.
You have to realize, because at this point they've listened to almost 2 hours of us talking about Christian. They are now in it. We have just inducted them.
Do not introduce anybody new to Christian. But if they're already into Christian, they have to get to the end of Christian.
I love the idea. This is like never smoke crack. But if you start smoking crack, never stop.
That's kind of...
Wait, that's like alcoholics. That's a real thing.
They'll get delirium tremens.
No, there are some alcoholics that become so dependent on alcohol that if they stop drinking, they will literally die.
Interesting.
Yeah. That's Christian.
So don't start.
So don't start drinking alcohol. It's not a 1-to-1 comparison. I
didn't think this when we started the episode, but halfway through, I decided, no, don't. Christian, just don't even start. Mm-hmm. But I cannot deny that it has had positive effects to my life.
Right.
Like in terms of avoiding sin, the most positive effect it could have. And it seems to have had positive effects in other people's lives.
And these people, as far as I know, I don't think they're Christian. I don't think they're it's not like I think they came into it with a certain mindset that they're taking the good out of it. It's like, this just seems to be you spend enough time with Christian, this is what you come to.
This seems to happen with people who are deep into study.
Yeah.
So I can't deny that. If that's having that effect in those people's lives, that is good. And it has had a good effect in my life. I still don't think you should start. I think the risk is too high. But if the train's already rolling, blow the fucking whistle.
Yeah, and there's another drug comparison there, which is that if you're already on the Christian drug, you will not be saved until you hit rock bottom.
Yeah,
your house has got to burn down.
Yeah. Like Christian's house.
That was the joke.
Like his house.
That was the joke. Yes, that was the joke. You are correct.
Oh man. Well, I don't have anything else.
I think that's as much as. Well, no. I was about to say I think that's as much as you can say about Christian. That is not true in even the smallest degree.
I think that's as much as we're going.
But
to say.
I think that is the end.
So if you want your name on the BioShock episode, paypal.me/willitsendmetohell, or will that be the first one of the month? That one might even come out this month. I don't know. Either way.
It'll be right on the edge.
Right on
February's
the edge.
a short month, so probably it'll be next month.
Patreon.com/willitsendmetohell. Send us your emails, willitsendmetohell gmail.com, and then all the other links are in the description down there. I'd love it if you followed me on Twitter. I got some good tweets.
Yeah, and just remember, you can always contact us on Twitter or by email or on my Discord, and just message one of us and say, like, hey, I want you covered Christian, so like you said, once you start, why not go all the way? I'm going to give you $1,000 to do Homestuck. And I'm going to say, we're talking about Homestuck, I don't think $1,000 is enough. But you should make the offer.
You want us to do Randy Stare?
That's interesting. We're going ghost.
Yeah. You want us to do other kind of darker lol cows?
Go for it.
I'll do it.
I'll lose my mind going down this rabbit hole.
Just look at Mr. Medicare, the Internet Insanity playlist, and give us $75 for each one of them. We'll probably fucking do it.
Probably. Well,
that's low.
150 because it's 75 each.
Yeah.
Let's be clear.
I'll do it.
I would probably do it.
I find this kind of thing really interesting.
Me too. Yeah.
The insane people on the internet.
That's the thing. I like this podcast. If we had no structure, could go forever.
What a problem it is that people with mental problems have sexual attraction. Like sexual
Did you
desire.
know that Christian bought a book about how to have sex with people with disabilities before having sex with his mom?
Did he really? So this was very premeditated. Well, I know there was also the troll goading him to do it.
There's a lot. I mean, again, it's like we could talk about this forever.
Do you think the dimensional merge is going to happen where Sonichu and all fictional characters become real?
No.
I was convinced. I was convinced too.
I want to point out that was something that a troll told Christian to fuck with him and extort $6,000, which he did successfully, out of Christian.
Really?
Yes, he stole $6,000 from Christian. Christian was then convinced that was a troll, and he had $6,000 stolen from him, and he said, wow, that guy really sucks, but everything he said was true. Like, the dimensional merge is going to happen. So just want to point that out. Another layer to all of this.
A lot of layers.
It never ends.
I need to take a shower.
Yeah, me too. I feel that.
This is icky. Yeah. Thank you for listening. And thank you again to our executive producer, Roger A., and associate executive producer, Stephen K. We cannot do this without you. BioShock. Tell us about BioShock. Maybe, look, you got a week. Read all 1,200 pages of Atlas Shrugged, too, so you're super duper prepared.
We were considering doing that, and we're like, there's no way. There's no way we'll have enough time. Maybe we'll do an Atlas Shrugged episode later, because it's impossible.
Oh, I'm listening to the audiobook. I might have it ready by then.
Almost
definitely not.
Yeah, I'm like, if you do, cool.
I picked the shorter of the two audiobooks, and it's still 52 hours.
Yeah, that's...
If you get the audiobook, though, let me know, because you do not want the longer one. The shorter one is a better reader. All the things will tell you.
Okay.
But more people get the other one.
All
just a little audible.
I'm hoping to quit my job and then just have more time to read.
Just a little audible tip for you guys. Anyway, thank you for listening. God bless. Look, we're a little on the spot right now.
Okay.
But someone did suggest to me that we end the podcast with a prayer.
Okay.
I think it's very nice.
I'm very on the spot.
Let's just say a Hail Mary. That's good.
All right.
That's a good one.
All right.
We'll really bother the Protestant who keeps sending us the emails.
We will.
You know what?
It will bother the people who just want to listen to these over and over and has to hear this every single time. But like, get over it.
Let's and you know what? Let's offer this one to our Protestant brother who keeps sending us email. You're on the right track.
I like the thought, but why wouldn't we offer it to Christian?
We'll offer it to Christian.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Protestant friend, but like we have to offer this to Christian, obviously.
Yes, Blessed Mother, please pray for Christian.
Yeah.
If anyone needs it.
Yes.
It's Christian.
Yeah.
Name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Hail Mary, full of grace.
See, I'm sitting at your dinner table. It is so habit. Just like I'm eating.
You have a little snack?
Yeah, I'm eating. I'm drinking a beer, dude.
All right. Name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now and at the hour of our death. Amen. In the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Thank you. Godspeed.